So here we go, round one of Brandon Transmission Sports. We got Steve Madsen, Paso Robles, the King Oil Tool sponsored 72 Firebird dialed a 1078, and Jerome Citrolo, the Simi Valley running the 03 Mach 1 dialed 1190. This is round one of eliminations, so 2 go down and 1 come back. Gonna be tight at the stripe, clean and green. Top end of the racetrack, it's gonna be Jerome. He was 1194 on the 1190, 028 on the tree, 2 thou better. Madsen was 030 and goes 1082 on the 1078, 3 thousandths of a second advantage at the finish line going to Jerome. 3 thousandths, that's like 2 toenails and an eyelash. He's got Red McGinnis, Paso Robles as well, that 70 Mustang dialed 1165, and Ryan Reed, Visalia, the big heavy Mopar, dialed a 1231. So Ryan in that big Mopar gonna get the head start. Mustang gonna try to 1165 dial, clean and green. Top end of the racetrack, it's gonna be Red McGinnis, 1175 and the 1165. He was better on the tree by a bunch. Top end win line, Red McGinnis. And the Budweiser side, we got Chris Fredericks at Bakersfield. Oildale Auto Parts sponsored 71 Dodge Charger, dialed a 1205. And Jeff Kreider, the Wonder Wagon, that 71 Vega wagon, dialed a 1220. New York Oil Open Comp, not in the lanes. You need to get here. New York Oil Open Comp. Top end of the racetrack, it's going to be Chris Fredrickson, that Oildale Auto Parts sponsored 71 Charger, 1206 on the 1205. Kreider done, and round one as we got Richard Lilo, the 64 Ranchero out of Templeton, dialed at 1160, and Stacy Beck, Bakersfield runner, 71 Chevelle, dialed a 1019. So Richard and that Ranchero going to get a big head start. That Chevelle going to try to reel him in. Top end of the racetrack win line, it's gonna be Stacy Beck reeling him in, 1024 on the 1019. Second up the reaction time was Stacy with a 1081. Richard on 1160 and 1168. Good race all around. Ken Ricks, Tulare, 68 Chevy Nova, dialed a 1213. And Brad Kizer, California City, the 2000 Suzuki, dialed a 1015. It's almost a 2-second head start, just a little bit more than a 2-second head start going advantage to Ken Ricks, and that bike got to try to run him down. Hard thing is being patient, not going red for the bike. Top end win line gonna be the bike, and it should, because he went perfect on the reaction time. 000. Perfect. 1026 on a 1015. Brad Kizer moving on. Ken Ricks going home. So we got Matt Miyashiro, the plumber out of Torrance, 72 Chevelle in the Auto Club lane, and Lanny Cox, Rosemead, the 06 Mustang, dialed a 1393. Miyashiro, #1 in points here in this Brandon's Transmission Sportsman category for the West Coast Hot Rod Association. So in order to stay #1, Miyashiro's got to make it through round one. Lanny Cox, Rosemead running the 06 Mustang, green and clean. Top end of the racetrack, it's going to be Matt Miyashiro, who is 004 on the tree, goes 1169 and the 1158. Scrubbing off some mile an hour to get that win light. Lanny Cox done in round one of competition. We got Doug McDermott out of Santa Ana, the Camaro here in the Budweiser lane. 980's the dial, and Bill Smith Jr., Bakersfield, that 65 Chevelle, your #2 in points, dialed 1151. So McDermott can play spoiler here in round #1 of Sportsman. Top end of the racetrack, it's going to be Doug McDermott, 985.7 on a 980. He was 007 on the tree. Bill Smith dialed 1151, goes 023 on the reaction time, 1158. Margin of victory about 0.02 of a second. Advantage Doug McDermott. So spoiled in round number 1 is Bill Smith Jr. in that Chevelle. Clayton Howey, Lamore. The Kawasaki of the Auto Club lane dialed a 907, and Jeff Beck going to get the head start in that Chevelle, dialed 1160. Top end on a double breakout, the bike getting the win. He was 906.7, 3 thou off that dead-on reaction time. Beck got there first and broke out with 11:58, broke out by 0.02 of a second. 200ths more than 3 thou. Clayton Howey moving on. Terry Rowland, Bakersfield. Another one of those 06 Suzuki's, dialed a 970. And Vic Hudson, Hudson Automotive sponsor 74 Chevy Love. 427 small block for power under the hood of that pickup, dialed a 955. Got some ground to cover up. Top end of the racetrack, it's going to be the Love. 956.0 on a 955. Terry Rowland was 062 on the tree and goes 971 on a 970. Margin of victory about 25 thou at the finish line. Advantage to Vic Hudson. We got David Ochoa, Tulare, another one of the bikes, dialed a 10 flat. Andrew King, California City. The 01 Suzuki dialed a 974. So David in the Auto Club lane going to get a head start. Andrew going to try to reel him in about half track. See if you can get that wind light on that 974 dial. Andrew King, David Ochoa, top end of the racetrack. It's going to be David Ochoa, 10-12 on a 10 flat. He was 060 on the tree. King was better, was 022. He goes 993 for the loss. David Dodd Jr., Lamore, that 70 Duster, dialed 1115 on this single pass. An automatic run into round number 2. Tardy for my taste, especially round 1 of competition, but doesn't really matter when you find yourself on the racetrack. 11-12 on the 11-15, and good thing he got a single pass. Hey, while it's quiet, and one of my favorite places, Zingo's, where real racers have eaten for over 55 years, open 24 hours a day on Buck Owens Boulevard. And they got some great, great food. And if you know who I am, and you know what I look like, I am a food connoisseur. Here we go into open comp. We got Wesley Isaac, the Valiant Effort, the 69 Plymouth Valiant, 1058 here in open comp is the dial. Going to get a single pass here. So he was probably #1 qualifier, and he was with a 005 reaction time. This category in open comp, brought to you in part by New York Oil, qualifies on reaction time. In open comp, you got to dial a 10th ahead of your best pass. So if you run a 950, your dial's at 940. It's just how it works. Wesley 010 on the reaction time, pushing that tree all day and doing real good at it. And on the 1058 at the top end of the racetrack, how about a 1057.4? So 6 thou off of that dead-on zero. You would have had a 10 thou package. Next up, we got Alan Ross. Get your cameras ready. The Atascadero runner, that 65 Mustang, likes to show off the undercarriage of that Mustang. Dial the 1059 is Scott Hewitt, the Bakersfield runner, on the bike. Going to try to run down Alan Ross of that Mustang, who is a prime-time player out here in open comp. He's dialed an 878 on the bike. Alan Ross on 1059, so pretty good head start for the Mustang, but get your cameras ready. That Mustang likes to show off the underside of that car. So he goes in deep, waiting for the bike to get in. Top end of the racetrack going to be Alan Ross, 1061.7. Hewitt got there first and went too quick. He went 873 on an 878. Ross turned him loose, and on the 1059 goes 1061.7 and walks his way into round number 2 as we got David Looney and Jerome Citrolo back here in open comp. Jerome, that 03 Mach 1, he just won round 1 of Sportsman. Now he's coming into round 1 of open comp where he's dialed 1191, and David Looney, the Bakersfield runner, dialed in 947 on the bike in the Auto Club lane. David Looney on the bike, moving on. Jerome done here in open comp, but still lives to see another round in Sportsman as Looney goes 954.7 on the 947 dial. Better on the tree was Looney by about a full 10th. So next up we got Ryan Ray from Riverside, that 55 Bel Air. Johnson Rod Custom, Block Shelton Garage, and GMW Drywall sponsored 55 Bel Air, and the Blair Speed Shot application, that 65 Chevy Nova. Straight axle, Bill Thompson, dialed an 883 and top end of the racetrack going to be Ryan Rabe, 851.9 on that 848 dial. He was 043 on the tree. Bill Thompson was 110, left a lot up there. Goes 889 on the 883 dial, and not good enough to get around Ryan here in round number 1. So we got Mark Miyashiro, Torrance, the Plumber, 27 Roadster, dialed a 950, and Ron Anzalone, and you're not blind there, people. That is a straight 6. Straight 6, dialed a 923. So Ron Anzalone, Los Osos, 923's a dial, and Mark's getting the head start. That modern day 27 Roadster with a 427 small block and a 300 cubic inch straight 6 in front of Ron Anzalone in that 23 Ford T-Bucket. A red light start for Miyashiro. Was 470 on the tree. Keep sharp stuff away from Mark Miyashiro. All right, attention to the pits, attention in the pits. One more time. Give me E-Gas. Brandt Racing Enterprises, E. Edward Gas to the lanes, please. Brandt Racing Enterprises, E. Edward Gas. And Engine Dynamics, D. Gas. D. Dog Gas. D. David Gas. So Engine Dynamics, D-Gas to the lanes, please. We got Doug Crumlich, the crummy one out of Irvine, the 96 Corvette, and Diane Dietrich. Clovis, 65 a Chevy 2, dialed a 1030. Crumlich, an 860. Top end of the racetrack, it's going to be Diane. 1033 on the 1030 dial. Crumlich was 034 on the tree, goes 864 on the 860. Crumlich having a starter problem all day, and done in round 1 of open comp. 5/1000ths of a second margin of victory. Advantage Diane. So Mike Lawless, Carmen Gia down 1157, and Lori Doge. More parts. S10 down a 1054, and Lawless in the Carmen Gia 1157. Doge trying to run him down before the finish line and now go faster than 1054. Lawless got around Lori. Lori left a lot on the starting line. It goes 1168 on the 1157 dial. Mike was 035 on the trees. We got Jordan Janke, 67 Chevy Nova, 454 small block under the hood. 960's the dial, and Manny Taylor, Bakersfield, 83 Suzuki. Here in open comp. All right, attention to the pits, attention in the pits. D, David Gas to the lanes, please. D, David Gas to the lanes. Engine Dynamics, D Gas to the lanes. Top end wind light's going to be the bike. 1020 with a 7 on that 928. Jordan had a 960 dial and goes 1087.4. He's 060 on the reaction time. So Jordan, number 1 in points in open comp or in C-Gas, done in round 1.
So Brandt Racing Enterprises E-Gas cars will be up next. A little bit of track prep, a little bit of cleanup, and E-Gas round number 1. Number 2 qualifier Jeff Beck, Arroyo Grande. 67 Chevelle, 468 BBC. 1160 with a 1. It didn't get the number 1 spot because that Morgan Wiggers said, I'll take that. And she did it. The first car down the track in this category today. Red McGinnis. McGinnis Brothers Racing Team, 70 Mustang out of Paso Robles. Red, who's in that lucky 13th spot. And Red has been nowhere near the 1160 index. He's either been a bunch too quick or a bunch too slow, whichever works. But Red was better in reaction time, and he just might have stole one here. Like I said, he was out of that lucky number 13 qualifying spot. They're playing the game at the finish line. Whap, whap, whap in the wind light. How about that Red McGinnis? 1170, 117 for the win. Red had a 10th advantage on the starting line as Jeff had one of those reaction times that starts with a 1, which usually means that W is going to come up in the other lane is Terry Fisher. 70 Volkswagen Bug in the Auto Club lane. The Budweiser lane, Tony D'Alvenzo to Larry. And I always mess up Tony's name. But Tony trying to take that Volkswagen out. So get down near the top end, that 69 Camaro making a move, top end, no. The Bug at 1169. For the win, as Tony had qualified in the number 3 spot, 1160 with a 5, and could not get there. How about number 1 qualifier? That's that Morgan Wiggers, the team out of Barnes Custom Engines. 72 Dodge pickup truck for Morgan, the public nuisance pickup truck. 500 inches of Mopar under the hood of the Dodge. Your number 1 qualifier in the Auto Club lane, 1160 with a 1. First car down the track in E-Gas. And Ed Ursus, Eddie, the piston salesman, out of Anaheim, 65 Mustang, 289. Ed, who qualified in the 14th spot with a 2-quick 1152.4. Red light start, Ed Ursus, and Morgan gets another shot at the 1160 index. See what Morgan does here. Motors right on down through there, the Dodge pickup truck, 1157. Oh, Ed red lights away. An 1160 with an 8. Dead on the index, and it's good night, red light out of here. It's Bill Smith Jr., 65 Chevelle, the Gomez Motorsports team machine, and Dave Bernitsky. Dave for mom and dad, the 69 Judge GTO for the 2nd generation drag racer. They're clean and green as they lead side by side. Bernitsky and Smith looking over at each other. Who wants the stripe? Who's going to take the stripe? Did I have a better reaction time? No, you did. Well, Dave Bernitsky did. Dave goes 032 on the tree. Goes 1161.0, 114 for the win. Bill Smith was a little tardy in reaction time at 075 and broke out with an 1154. Is Paul Miller, 69 Bug, and Jacob King. Paul's got problems with that shifter. Jacob, double 04 reaction time for Jake. He'll roll out of the throttle and cruise right on down through there. Jake goes 1275 at 84 miles an hour, and he was 004 green. 4 thousandths away from perfect. The next pair be Paul Lilio, 64 Ford Ranchero. He will be in the Auto Club lane. The Budweiser lane, the Gary Guerrero tuned Chevelle of Matt Miyashiro. So the Volkswagen comes to a stop at the finish line, and we'll have to wait a few minutes to clear him off there. The safety file run out there and toss him a rope, and Paul's going to clear the track down there. And we'll get back to racing with Matt Miyashiro, the M&D Plumbing Services. 72 Chevelle, qualified in the number 9 spot, 1170 with a 2. And Richard Lilio, Tempton, Specialty Gear and Trans, 64 Ford Ranchero, out of that number 6 qualifying spot at 1163.3. Now keep in mind, it makes absolutely no difference where you qualify. That's how we set the ladder. It's where you finish that counts. And I'll tell you, Into the Water Box right now is just a monster matchup. Has big time points implication, but we'll get to that in a few minutes if the wagons get paired up in round number 1. So Matt, Paul, both of them are in. Here we go. Clean, green. I'll tell you in a minute. As we get down near the 1,000-foot mark, the starting line advantage went to the Budweiser lane. Matt, but he breaks out. Richard breaks out also. Matt breaks out by 6. Richard breaks out by 2, and that win light goes to Richard Lilio. Big time matchup here. A couple of prime time players with a points battle on the line. Dustin Lee, the 53 Ford, he will be in the Budweiser lane. The Auto Club lane, get down, upside down, downtown, James Brown out of Ventura. A big matchup here, and one of these guys could leave with the title tonight. Red light start, Dustin Lee by 18 thousandths of a second. Downtown, James Brown moves on. 11:57.2 on that 1160 index for the win for downtown James Brown. Attention in the pits, attention in the pits. Engine dynamics, D-gas. You should be in the lanes, please. Engine dynamics, D-gas to the lanes, please.